We are counting down 20 mind-blowing San Francisco facts that will make you book a flight before we hit number 1. Out of the full 20, here are the 10 heaviest hitters that prove this city should not work, yet somehow works better than almost anywhere on Earth. Starting our countdown with fact number 10. San Francisco is smaller than you think, and that is exactly the magic. The entire city fits into about 47 square miles, yet it is the second most densely populated major city in America after New York. More than 50 distinct neighborhoods are stacked side by side: Chinatown's hanging lanterns, North Beach espresso bars, the Mission's riot of murals, the pastel row houses of the Sunset, the jazz dive bars of the Fillmore. Muni buses and light rail, old-school streetcars, BART trains under the bay, and ferries skimming across it knit the whole thing together so tightly you genuinely do not need a car. And the hills squeeze everything closer still. Stand on one block and you can see 3 microclimates and 4 eras at once. Victorians next to glass, a taqueria next to a bakery, a bus line crossing a cable car track. Why it matters. You can cross cultures, cuisines, and architectural eras in one afternoon because San Francisco does not sprawl. It layers. Every corner is a shortcut to somewhere else. Coming in at fact number 9, meet Karl The Fog, the city's unofficial celebrity. This is not just mist, it is a daily marine engine created when cold Pacific water collides with warm inland air, an advection fog that breathes in and out with the tides and wind. In summer, Karl rolls through the Golden Gate like clockwork, pouring over Twin Peaks like a slow-motion waterfall, swallowing Sutro Tower until only its red tips poke through. He can drop the temperature from the 70s to the mid-50s in minutes. He has a sense of humor and hundreds of thousands of followers online. The Sunset and Richmond go gray while the Mission basks in sun, and somewhere a foghorn moans as a bonfire sparks to life on Ocean Beach. Why it matters. Pack layers, because the weather flips fast, and your photos and your plans transform with it. Your morning may feel like July in Italy, your evening like October in London, and both will be beautiful. And here is fact number 8. The Golden Gate Bridge is not golden, not a gate, and it almost did not happen. Its color is called International Orange, chosen by architect Irving Morrow to glow through the fog and complement the headlands. The name comes from the Golden Gate Strait, the channel between the bay and the ocean. The War Department fought it, ferry companies lobbied against it, and engineers warned the currents were too strong. One engineer, Joseph Strauss, pushed for more than a decade. Charles Alton Ellis and Leon Moisseiff refined the design into the elegant suspension we know. They slung a safety net under the span, and 19 men who fell into it called themselves the Halfway to Hell Club. When it finally opened in 1937, 200,000 people walked across it in a single day, parading in the wind beneath Art Deco towers rising 746 feet. Why it matters. This is the world's ultimate symbol of an impossible idea built anyway. Every bolt is a vote for daring. Moving to fact number 7. Alcatraz is 15 minutes from the waterfront, and it is the most visited national park site on the West Coast. The island sits barely 1¼ miles offshore, yet the currents are cold and vicious, the water a numbing 50 to 55 degrees. Before it was a prison, it was a lighthouse and a fort. And after it closed, Native American activists occupied it for 19 months to demand recognition. From 1934 to 1963, it held notorious prisoners like Al Capone and Machine Gun Kelly. There were attempts, most famously in 1962, but no verified successful escapes. Today, more than 1 million people every year ride the ferry out, watch the city shrink into a skyline of glitter, step into 5x9 cells, and hear an audio tour voiced by former guards and inmates while seabirds wheel outside. At night, you can walk the cell house in the dark and feel the bay wind push at the windows. Why it matters. It is a living history lesson you can feel in your bones. A postcard view wrapped around hard truths. The strangest fact is still coming. Next is fact number 6. The cable cars are the only moving national monument in the United States. Inventor Andrew Halliday created them in 1873 after watching a horse carriage slide backward down a wet hill and drag its team. The solution was a continuous underground cable running at a steady 9.5 miles per hour, which the cars grip to go and release to stop. The gripman's hands are leather-gloved and strong. The bell is a language of its own. 3 lines still run: California, Powell Mason, Powell Hyde, climbing grades so steep it feels like a controlled ascent into the clouds, then tipping toward the bay until Alcatraz pops into view. If you listen at the barn, you can hear the cables sing. Why it matters. You are riding a functioning piece of engineering heritage that still moves a city every day. It is a museum exhibit that takes you home. And now for fact number 5. This town eats. San Francisco has roughly 1 restaurant for every 275 residents, which makes it one of the most food-obsessed cities in America. It is the home of Dungeness crab feasts on the wharf and cioppino invented by Italian fishermen, the mission-style burrito that changed fast food forever, and sourdough bread with a microbe so unique it carries the city's name. Lactobacillus sanfrancisensis thrives in this climate and has flavored loaves since the gold rush. Start your morning at tartine with a slice so tangy it sings. Slurp oysters at Swan, line up for dim sum in Chinatown, share tea leaf salad in the Richmond, bite into Russian pierogi on Geary, chase it with a latte in North Beach. On Saturdays, the Ferry Building Farmers Market becomes a runway of peaches, cheeses, and chefs. Why it matters? The very air seasons the food here, and your taste buds tour the world without crossing the same street twice. You eat your way through history and migration. And here is fact number 4. Golden Gate Park is bigger than Central Park, and it is far stranger. At more than 1,000 acres, it stretches from the center of the city to the Pacific. Inside, you will find a herd of bison that has lived there since the 1890s, a Dutch windmill that still turns, the oldest public Japanese tea garden in the United States with a drum bridge and pagodas, a planetarium, museums, and a botanical garden with thousands of species. The D. Young's copper skin changes with the light. The California Academy of Sciences hides a living roof of rolling green. Roller skaters spin on JFK Drive where cars are banned on weekends. Lindy hoppers swing by the bandstand, and once a year, a music festival called Outside Lands turns the meadows into a temporary city. All of it was planted on what used to be worthless sand dunes, stabilized with seagrasses and stubborn imagination. Why it matters. This is urban imagination turned into a forest, a museum, and a playground. Proof that you can grow wonder out of sand. Moving to fact number 3. The city burned, then rebuilt almost overnight. On April 18, 1906, at 5:12 in the morning, a magnitude 7.9 earthquake hit just after dawn. Water mains burst, fires raged for 3 days, soldiers dynamited blocks to make fire breaks, thousands died, and half the city was left homeless. Refugee camps sprouted in parks. People cooked on sidewalks and slept in earthquake shacks painted green. Within 4 years, San Francisco rebuilt tens of thousands of structures and then hosted a World's Fair in 1915 to announce its comeback. The Panama Pacific International Exposition gave the world the Palace of Fine Arts and a new marina. The Phoenix landed on City Hall's seal and never left. Why it matters. Resilience is not a slogan here. It is a blueprint. The ground may move, but the people move faster. Coming to fact number 2, Harvey Milk changed what was legally possible for millions. In 1977, he became one of the first openly gay elected officials in the United States and took a seat on the Board of Supervisors. He used it to pass a landmark ordinance banning discrimination in housing and jobs. He was assassinated the next year, and the city mourned with a candlelight march that lit up Market Street. The movement he helped lead carried forward for decades, through marches and setbacks, through a rainbow flag raised in 1978 in the Castro, to courtrooms, and finally to marriage equality becoming federal law in 2015. The Castro, where he ran his camera shop, remains a living monument, with neon, the Castro Theater marquee, rainbow crosswalks, and a sense of community that spills into the street every June for Pride. Why it matters. San Francisco's politics did not just shape a city. They helped transform a nation. Hope became law. And finally, fact number 1. San Francisco keeps reinventing itself, and every time it comes back, stranger, richer, and more itself. Gold rush greed to progressive powerhouse. Victorian showcase to tech capital. Port city to culinary destination. Beat poets in North Beach to summer of love and hate Ashbury. .com boom to Web 2.0 to whatever is being coded right now in Soma. Biotech labs rising in Mission Bay. A small, fog-wrapped, earthquake-prone peninsula that somehow produces outsized cultural, technological, and social change per square mile. You can watch it in real time. A Victorian painted lady reflected in a rideshare window. A startup office above a century-old saloon. A protest outside City Hall turning into policy 6 months later. Why it matters. When every kind of person on Earth converges in one precarious, beautiful place and decides to stay, you get a city that changes the world. It breaks and builds, and somehow the soul gets clearer. Tell us which fact shocked you most, and if this countdown pushed San Francisco to the top of your travel list, because the best way to understand this city is to stand in it. Feel the fog on your face, hear the cable car bell, and let a 47 square mile universe unfold under your feet.